We gotta talk about one of the best Sonic villains, the Drip King, Clutch the Possum. Fitted out at all times. He is unironically one of the best Sonic villains in recent history. His plans were peak. The fact that he's not a combative based character, so he provided a new dynamic where characters who don't normally use the brains aspect of their character actually had to use the brain aspect of their characters. It wasn't just a physical brawl. Definitely an intelligence op. His whole shtick was to get on the inside of the HQ, get in the inside of all of Sonic's allies, and mess it up from there. And he used the best person in the verse to do so, Mimic. This one move, just Mimic simply infiltrating the base, had such devastating impact on everybody in the series. The fact that you have to give him credit for it. Only did Mimic almost knock off Silver, marked him off mentally too by faking his injury, making it seem like Silver was out of his mind. It embarrassed him in front of everyone in the HQ. Even though Mimic caused such, again, devastating impacts, he wasn't the only person he manipulated. Even the Babylon rogues fell into his trap. His plan worked perfectly. He got some of the heaviest hitters in the HQ at the time out of the base, so he himself could sneak in and do his whole operative. And when he stepped in, the manipulation did not stop. Even Surge and Kit fell into his trap. This dude is the definition of a smooth criminal. Clutch tries to push a notion of, hey, we should do this big ass event in order to, celebrate citizens across multiple different cities, etc., etc. Just give people something to do. This too was a part of his plan to get every heavy hitter away from the HQ. Why? Why, you ask? So he could take it over himself. Again, his whole plan, the intricacy behind it, the whole stealthy aspect, the espionage, that's not something Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, etc., experience or have to face off against. And the fact that it's not just him now, he also has to deal with Mimic, a shapeshifter who is still a relevant villain post this event. It's like they never had to experience something like this before. He's completely unique in this regard. Eventually trying to boss Surge around, and especially thanks to her own trauma, does not work out for her. You know it's bad when Sonic has to team up with Eggman, but not only that, Eggman had to come in with that shit on. He knew that he couldn't just let himself get dripped out like that, or out-dripped out like that. Actually, after everyone ends up finding out his plans, things tend to backfire on Clutch, so he's on the defensive. And even though I know he's not much of a fighter, that boy keeps that piece on him. This man pimping for real. Honestly, physically, he's not too bad himself. Granted, he's not a fighter, that's not his main gimmick, but he can still hold his own, which adds on to more of this man is cunning, he's dangerous, and he's lethal. The fact that Surge, Kit, Eggman, Sonic all had to team up to put this dude down is saying something about it. Eggman, the fact that he wanted to run the fade one-on-one also speaks highly of Clutch. Eggman's pissed. Not only are you messing with my main op that no one else gets to do, because Eggman's selfish like that, Clutch also messed with his technology, and Eggman hates that shit too. She gets her moment. She takes everyone down, symbolizing that she's becoming more of her own unique individual. This is where the long-lasting effects happen. The HQ ends up getting destroyed thanks to this whole battleship. In terms of the base, the mentality of the HQ is still there. People wanting to help is still there, but there is no base of operations anymore. Outside of that, we actually get to see what trauma Clutch himself invoked on certain individuals. Said actions ended up actually, again, having long-lasting effects on multiple teams, characters, etc., etc. The funniest bit is most of the community hating Lowland is because of Clutch. You have to attest that to Clutch. He was so refreshing. He's not just a villain, just Sonic, Shadow, or Silver's just gonna physically beat him up at some point. Nah, this man's cunning, this man's theatricals, his acting, everything you could say is just top tier. He was a breath of fresh air, something new we never got to experience before. Again, I can't emphasize this part enough. He is a drip god. Oh my god. But like I've always been noting in every video regarding that EW series, they do not miss. Every character they've introduced has been a straight, unique banger. If you're not reading the series, get on it for real.